Well, welcome everybody. And while we have hope that we will eliminate the dastardly virus, COVID-19, with the help of vaccines, we've got a long way to go to addressing both the health and economic damage this disease has inflicted on too many people of the great city of Louisville. In the last 10 months, we've seen businesses close their doors, some temporarily, some permanently, and many others severely cutting back staffing. Tens of thousands of Louisvillians remain unemployed or underemployed and are struggling to make ends meet, many for the first time. And so that's why we have stepped up as much as we can, and we've taken several steps to help, including creating new grant and loan programs to support our small businesses impacted by COVID-19, about $30 million. We've worked with individual businesses and community partners to establish the One Louisville COVID-19 Response Fund, which raised and distributed about $11 million to households in need and nonprofits doing essential community supporting work. And we've allocated more than $21 million available through the Federal CARES Act to Jefferson County residents who need help paying their rent. And in November, I proposed an ordinance to the Metro Council to allocate funding to assist the many Louisvillians who've seen their incomes reduced because of COVID-19 and who are now months behind, unfortunately, on their utility bills. And some of these decisions are horrible. I'm talking about people who want to pay their bills but face impossible choices like, do I pay the electrical bill? Do I buy food? Do I put shoes on my baby's feet? Should I pay the water bill or refill prescriptions? So to get some perspective on that and understand the level of need, listen to these stats. In mid-March of 2020, there were 1,900 customers behind on their Louisville Water or MSD bill. There are now 15,000, okay, so almost 10 times the residential customers in Jefferson County who are behind on their water or MSD bill, with an average outstanding balance of about $700. LG&E has nearly 28,000 residential customers that are behind, with an average bill of more than $400. So look, this pandemic wasn't caused by any one of us. So it's up to all of us, and it's up to Metro government to help the people of our city address their most basic needs. And that's why I'm really grateful that the Metro Council has been in full support and fully approved this ordinance in December. So thank you to the council. I see Bill Hollander's with us. So Bill, thanks to you and your colleagues. The Metro COVID-19 Utility Assistance Program is designed to provide qualified customers with outstanding balances on their utility bills a one-time credit. There are two main components: up to $500 in assistance on LG&E bills and up to $500 in assistance on water and MSD bills. Customers will need to attest that they've had a financial hardship during the pandemic between March 16th and December 31st of 2020. There's no income restrictions to receive this utility assistance. Residents will be served on a first-come, first-served basis and can apply for both LG&E and water and MSD assistance, both of them. Our utility partners have been working hard to make the application process as accessible and efficient as possible. For water and MSD assistance, customers can apply directly online with the Louisville Water Company using a new self-service portal. So thanks to our partners at the Water Company on their quick work to develop this useful tool. For LG&E assistance, residents can apply in one of two ways: through their local community ministry or at one of the neighborhood place sites utilizing an automated scheduler. Both agencies use the electronic LG&E portal to make and track pledge payments. Representatives from these agencies are with us today to share more details. I just want to say I appreciate all the work that's being done to make this public-private collaboration successful. And this is how we get important things done in Louisville, working together. So let's hear now from some of our compassionate community partners who are making this program possible. First, I'd like to welcome Kelly Deering-Smith, Vice President, Communications and Marketing for the Louisville Water Company. Kelly?
All right, good morning. Thank you, Mayor, and thanks for your support of this effort. You said it, so many people in our community right now are struggling. And this one-time Metro Relief Credit, it is a unique and it is really an incredible opportunity for so many Louisville Water and Louisville MSD customers. You mentioned the data, 15,000 customers. I want to tell you a story behind that data. When we look at those numbers, the number of customers who had an outstanding balance between March and December of last year, roughly 80% of those customers have either never been behind on their Louisville Water and MSD bill, or they've only been behind one time. So, all it takes is a data point like that to show how far-reaching this pandemic is. These customers live all across Jefferson County, and it is truly a stressful time. So considering that data, we went to work with our partner at MSD. A team of employees have worked very quickly to build that portal that you referred to, and it's already online now. I've heard some happy customers this morning already calling in and learning how to apply. It is a very simple application. Customers just need their account number and they need their billing zip code, and then they need to tell us how they got that financial hardship. What happened to them during the pandemic that caused them to get that outstanding balance? If access to a computer is a concern for our customers, our partners at the community ministries will help, and you can see the portal. Here it is right now. You can also make an appointment at the Louisville Free Public Library. You can come to our downtown office. We have iPads set up to help you apply, or you can, of course, give us a call. This one-time credit, it's part of our larger program at Louisville Water and MSD that's called Drops of Kindness. We will never look at affordability the same way again. The pandemic has opened our eyes to how far-reaching something like this can be. So in a stressful time, an unpaid bill does not really have to leave you in a bind. So on behalf of Louisville Water and MSD, I'd like to thank you for your support. We built this portal. We're excited to put it in use, and we're really excited to help thousands of customers with that unpaid balance. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Appreciate the good work there. Next, I'd like to welcome Tony Parrott, who is the Executive Director of MSD. Tony? So you got to unmute, Tony.
Good morning, and thank you, Mayor Fischer. And thank you also to Metro Council for approving this funding to assist customers with their utility bills. This pandemic is something that is impacting every corner of our community, and we provide essential water and wastewater services with the Louisville Water Company, and it is critical to public health and that those services continue throughout the pandemic. We, like our other utility partners on this call, have needed to find ways to keep operations going and maintain the safety of our workers. But at the same time, many of our customers have experienced severe financial hardships. And for many, this is the first time they have had or been behind on their utility bills. So as we work to continue to defeat the virus and the economy recovers, it is critical that we provide ways that make it easier for our community to recover. This funding will be an incredible step to help residents withstand financial impacts of COVID. It is important that we continue to work with our partners on this call and in the community, get the word out about this relief, because we want to help everyone that has a need. We appreciate all the hard work involved to develop the tools that Kelly mentioned that is going to make it very easy and assist to make sure that those who are suffering can look forward to a way to access this relief. And working with our utility partners, we are striving to continue to provide this relief as efficiently as possible. So again, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Metro Council, Mr. Hollander, because this is going to be a needed effort and a needed assistance for our customers. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tony. Next, representing our partners at Louisville Gas and Electric, I'm happy to welcome Eileen Saunders. She's LG&E's Vice President of Customer Services. Thanks for joining us, Eileen.
Thank you, Mayor Fischer, and good morning to everyone. It wasn't that long ago that we all came together in the hope that Metro Council would approve the Metro COVID-19 Funds Ordinance that would help these funds make their way to our customers, help them address outstanding utility balances that many have acquired during the pandemic. And now here we are ready to roll it out and provide much needed relief to customers in record time. So I'm very excited to be a part of this. LG&E is. At LG&E, we're always working on ways to assist our most vulnerable customers, and we're grateful to Mayor Fischer, the Louisville Metro Council, our community agencies, and others involved in creating an additional line of assistance and making it available to our customers. We have a long-standing and ongoing relationship with community ministries and Neighborhood Place, and we're excited that in addition to assisting our customers, distribution of these funds will also benefit these agencies by providing 10% of the funds to cover their administrative costs. And as Mayor Fischer also mentioned, we're advising if you're an LG&E Jefferson County customer who wish to access the relief funds, please reach out directly to community ministries or your area Neighborhood Place location. We work with these partners year round. They are very clear about the benefits. They're very clear about how it all works. And if you work directly with them, they are experts at helping match you with the money and also getting the pledges to us so that we can apply them to your bill. The pledges will appear on your customer accounts as pending credits until the pledge is fulfilled and funds are received from the organizations. What I'd like to also share is that to date, residential customers with outstanding pandemic balance have been placed on payment plans for up to 12 months. And no residential customers have been disconnected due to non-payment of their pandemic balance. So again, this is exciting news for our customers, and we are very proud to be a partner in assisting them in getting the support they need. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Eileen. And now to provide the nuts and bolts on how to apply for the LG&E assistance, we're going to hear from representatives with the Association of Community Ministries. We've got tremendous community ministries here in our city. And then we'll hear from our city's Department of Resilience and Community Services. So Mark Steiner, haven't seen you in a while, hope everything's going okay, is here to represent the Association of Community Ministries, and Mark's the Program and Development Manager at Community Ministries. So welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Mayor Fischer, and good morning, everyone. The Association of Community Ministries and each of the 13 ministries we represent, who combined cover the entirety of Metro Louisville, are committed to doing what we can to respond to this crisis and to help our neighbors in need access emergency assistance. We also pledge to continue to play our part in reducing the barriers to assistance, recognizing that folks in crisis need easy access to help. At ACM, this means working with our partners to innovate and to find new ways to meet our community needs. The Louisville Rapid Access Network and StopMyEviction.org are prime examples. On Stop My Eviction, we are seeing hundreds and hundreds of people asking for help. A nursing student who had to quit school and work because her mother got sick and could no longer watch her children. A young woman who was off work just 3 months, but now finds herself besieged by debt. It is the people behind the numbers, the stories like these, that drive us to continue to advocate for assistance and to work together to distribute relief dollars in a manner that's both accessible and timely. The Association of Community Ministries believes in the power of government, nonprofit, business collaboration to make needed change, and deeply appreciates this opportunity to work with the Office of Resilience and Community Services to help alleviate some of the financial hardship that so many of our community members are facing today. We have longstanding relationships with LG&E, KU Energy, and the Louisville Water Company, and very much appreciate their commitment to providing services to households in crisis. The community ministries are seeing unprecedented numbers of people who need some form of help due to the impacts of COVID-19. And we recognize that it is only through this kind of community-wide effort that we can keep everyone healthy at home. So to access assistance through ACM, you'll want to determine which community ministry serves your neighborhood. To do that, you call the good folks at 211, and they will, based on your zip code or address, provide you with contact information for the community ministry that serves your neighborhood. Or you can visit us directly at LouisvilleMinistries.org. That's LouisvilleMinistries.org. On the directory page, you can see which zip codes each of the community ministries serve and download a document with details about accessing the emergency assistance programs available at each location. Now, due to COVID restrictions, we are asking you to call your neighborhood ministry, where one of our intake coordinators will walk you through that application process. And where possible, we will serve neighbors looking for help by phone and email. In addition, we'll provide form pickup and documentation drop-off opportunities at each location. The Association of Community Ministries and each of our member organizations recognize that stressors put on families during this historic crisis, and as such, we are dedicated to facilitating the timely distribution of these funds and putting our decades of experience supporting and assisting our neighbors in need behind this project. That website again is louisvilleministries.org. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark, and please give our appreciation to everybody at Community Ministries. You guys do a tremendous job and are known as amongst the best in the country, so appreciate you guys. So our Resilience and Community Services, part of Metro government, also known as RCS, is overseeing the distribution of funds under agreements with the utilities and the utilities foundations. RCS, through the Neighborhood Place Network, will also be an entry point for applying for the LG&E assistance. So I invite Tamika Laird, who's Director of RCS, to share those details with us. Welcome, Director Laird.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm excited to present with you and with our partners here today to launch the COVID-19 Utility Assistance Program. Over the last few weeks, Office of Resilience and Community Services team has been meeting virtually with our utility partners and community ministries to prepare for this launch. We all have seen and heard how much this relief program is needed in our community. We're talking about unprecedented need versus needed unprecedented action. To many of our residents and customers are facing financial hardships caused by this pandemic. We are eager to make this assistance as accessible as possible. We will continue to meet in the coming weeks to check on the progress of this program. As Mark Steiner with the Area Community Ministries mentioned earlier, there are two avenues to apply for LG&E assistance. The first is by calling your local community ministry. The second way is applying with my department via the Neighborhood Place Network. Neighborhood Place is utilizing our automatic appointment scheduler, which is available 24/7. Simply call 977-6636 or go online at lgnhelp@itfrontdesk.com. Again, that number is 977-6636 or at lgnhelp.itfrontdesk.com. The scheduling system will relay the required documentation to drop off on the date of your appointment date. Includes a copy of your photo ID for adults in your household, Social Security cards for all household members, the past due LG&E bill, and attestation of the financial hardship during the pandemic. There are no income restrictions. Let me repeat that again. There are no income restrictions to receive this utility assistance. However, income documentation is required to gain entry into the LG&E program. I want to give a big shout out to my team at RCS and Neighborhood Place, who have been working incredibly hard since the onset of COVID to provide relief and recovery for our residents. I also want to mention that the federally funded LAHEAP crisis program is also currently operating. The LAHEAP is the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. It is also administered through the RCS via the automatic scheduler. The number for that program is 991-8391 or online at LouisvilleKYCAscheduler.com. All this information can be found on RCS's website at louisvilleky.gov//RCS. Let me repeat that again. RCS's website at louisvilleky.gov/RCS. It is vital that we continue to work together to ensure no one's water or energy is cut off during this health crisis. While the pandemic has taken a toll on all of us, I am inspired in all ways that we are collaborating to help each other. Thank you again, Mayor, and thanks to the Metro Council for allocating funding for this relief program.
Thank you, Tamika. So the funding for this initiative, we've mentioned several times, required approval by the Metro Council because it came from general fund dollars that were freed up by the Federal CARES Act money that we received that we're able to devote to other areas of need. So again, thanks to the council for their support. Welcome Councilman Bill Hollander to say a few words on the call. Bill's just a tireless champion. Anytime that we can help our community, he's always there. So I appreciate you, Councilman. Take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank everybody who has helped put this program together. I know particularly how hard RCS is working and our community ministries across the community and has really been working from the beginning. We're into this almost a year now. The Metro Council first appropriation for relief was passed in March of last year. We don't always agree on everything. I think people have seen that. But we do agree on keeping people housed and fed and warm and dry to the best we can do. We know that this funding won't last forever, but it's what we have available now, and there was unanimous support for getting this out in the community. Just one other comment. We need private philanthropy to continue to help on all of these efforts. And I know the community ministries, all of them across the community, are accepting donations to provide more help for all of these efforts. And I would encourage people to get involved to the extent they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I got a thumbs up from Mark Steiner there. So again, we do appreciate all the philanthropic activity in the community, but there's just continued great need, and it's going to stay that way for quite some time. So while we're super optimistic, the vaccine is with us. We don't have enough vaccine, and it's going to take months to vaccinate enough people to get us to herd immunity. So in the meantime, I just want to remind everybody, follow your public health practices of wearing your mask and social distancing. That's the best tool we have right now to get through this vaccine. Okay? So one last thing here, and then we'll take questions. Look, a lot of people have come together to make this partnership work. And as I've said, economic hardship created by COVID-19 in our community are much greater than the need that we can meet without federal help. And that's true across the country. And so that's why I was proud to join about 300 of my fellow mayors from across the country, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, to sign a letter from the United States Conference of Mayors to congressional leaders asking for a swift passage of President Biden's American Rescue Plan. The president's proposal includes $350 billion in direct aid to state and local governments, and that's essential because it's at the state and local level where we have to craft and implement solutions like the one that you're hearing about today with our utility assistance program. And federal support for state and local government is absolutely essential to making sure that the American people have the resources they need to get through this pandemic and create a strong and equitable recovery. So you've got a couple things, right? You got the vaccine to keep us safe, our families safe. Then you've got the relief we need to help open the economy along with everybody being healthy. So this all works together. So I really urge our congressional leaders to work together and pass the American Rescue Plan as quickly as possible. So with that, we will open up questions to the media. Jess?
Thank you, Mayor. The first question comes from Paul Miles with 840 WHAS, and we'll direct this to Tamika, and then if any of our utility partners want to chime in. Paul asks, how quickly do you expect the funding to be depleted? Will it be replenished, and do you expect outstanding balance problems to continue into the year?
So to answer the first question, how quickly do you expect the funding to be depleted? It is all contingent on the first come, first served basis. We know that our customers are in detrimental need and crisis right now. So we expect this funding to not go to be spent very quickly. I cannot estimate or forecast on the as far as the timeline, but we will be watching it very closely and tracking it and reporting on it. To answer the question, will it be replenished? We do not know at this time. We will be actually going back and reporting to council on the impact, and then also as far as dealing with the overall need. And do you expect outstanding balances problems to continue into the year? I do. I expect that we will continue to have this economic hardship as long as we have the pandemic. We know that we have a high increase in unemployment right now, and a lot of people without jobs, so they're working at home. We do know that NTI, so we're trying to get kids back to school. So all of these things are impacts on the hardships in the family and the current actual income, economic income within the household.
And I'll just add a note there that, we have a higher level of unemployment amongst people in their low-income jobs, who oftentimes have the least amount of savings as well, that helps people get through crises like this. So the low-income people, once again, are getting hurt the worst in these type of crises, and so that's why this relief is so essential here.
Okay, our next question is for our utility partners. Paul Miles with HAS 840 asks, can you give examples of financial hardships that customers must show?
Mayor, this is Kelly at Louisville Water. I'm happy to answer this one. When you go onto the portal, you can find the link at louisvillewater.com. You'll check a box. So it could be financial hardship from a job lost, perhaps it's reduced wages, and you also could have the option to check that you had to step away from work while you were caring for a loved one. And you can see there at the homepage, you'll see it says Metro COVID Relief. It takes you right to the application. Once you enter in your account number and your billing zip code, then you'll be able to check the box on your financial hardship.
And let me just add in, Kelly, that we are doing that across the board. So the consistency here is that every program that we actually are rolling out today has to actually identify their economic hardship. And the consistency is as far as the requirements of what their predicament is.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Mayor Fischer from Katrina Helmer with WDRB. She says, this question is for the mayor regarding the Conference of Mayors meeting that he chaired last week, which President Biden recently addressed. What are your thoughts about what you heard from Biden? And did you hear anything new about COVID-19 relief for cities?
No, myself and I'd say the mayors across America are very excited to have President Biden as a partner in all these various battles we've got going on and challenges in our cities. Obviously, he's got 4 major priorities. At the top of those, the priority is getting rid of the virus, defeating the pandemic. And for that, obviously, we need more vaccines. So they're in the process of figuring out how we can scale the vaccination supply right now, invoking the Defense Production Act. So he spoke about that, how it's an all-in strategy, not just mass vaccination sites like we have at Broadbent Arena, but there'll be multiple sites throughout our communities as well that'll coincide with preparing for them and getting more vaccines underway as well. So we were very encouraged by the whole process that they've got underway on that, and expect that to produce better results for us here as a city as we continue to fight over the next couple months. He also said it's going to get worse before it gets better, and we've seen that with continuing infection rates and mortality rates as well. We do seem to have plateaued and are coming down a little bit off of that at the local level, so we're pleased about that. So it's the pandemic, it's the economic recovery that comes from that. That's why his American Rescue Plan is so important, what I just spoke about. It's a $1.9 trillion plan that Congress has right now. Whether or not they're going to approve the whole $1.9 trillion or the $350 billion to local and state government, we'll see. But the important thing is they need to take action, because the people of Louisville and the people of all the cities of the country right now in rural areas are hurting. So please, to Congress, stop any political shenanigans. Let's get to work for the people of the country and get a bill passed. The other issue that he spoke about was climate and climate change. Some of our cities are just having really big problems with massive fires that you saw over the last couple of months, superstorms that are taking place. So that's another one of his big four that he's getting after. And the other is, of course, racial justice and equity, which lines exactly up with what we're doing with our advancing racial equity initiatives in our city. So just a lot of affirmation on what we have been prioritizing as a city is now a priority in the White House. So we're grateful for that and expect to see a lot of results from it. One last thing, we hope they're successful with the National Infrastructure Plan. We spoke about that so that we can have the type of investment in our roads and bridges and airports and rail system that we need to be competitive globally, but then also to produce the tremendous jobs that come from that initiative. All those will have a focus on green jobs, green energy jobs, which of course are good paying jobs and where we need to be positioned for the future. So lots of alignment, lots of excitement here in Louisville and then also around the country.
Thank you. Our next two questions are for our utility partners. The first question comes from Lucas Albach with the Courier-Journal. He asks, is there a certain amount of money that applicants need to owe to utility companies to apply, or is it open to anyone regardless of how much they owe? And when will you all begin accepting applications?
I'm happy to start again. On the Louisville Water MSD side, you essentially need an outstanding balance between March 16th and December 31st of 2020. And so the credit is up to $500. You heard the mayor mention that the average amount owed right now is around $700. So for a lot of these customers, essentially their bill will be cut in half. The portal is live now. We are taking applications as we speak. So you can go to LouisvilleWater.com, get to that, or come in and visit us in person or make a call. And if you're not eligible, it will explain why you're not eligible. And then gives you an option if you'd like to set up a payment plan or to be connected with the community ministries or another community agency for help.
And I will actually answer for LG&E if that's all right. If that's all right with you, Elaine, is that all right? Okay, great.
It is.
Okay. We are working concurrently and consistently with the water company. The appointment line is open for the ministries and then also for the neighborhood place. You can call. Again, please call for the Louisville Neighborhood Place, 977-6636. Or you can visit the LG&E help at itfrontdesk.com. Also for the area ministries, you can call 211, or you can actually contact your local ministries at www.louisvilleministries.org. We are working on the minimum threshold again, it's $500. There is no amount. We are looking at the actual eligibility period of March 16th to December the 30th, 2020. These programs are working consistently with criteria and qualifications.
Thanks, Tamika. The next question comes from Ryan Van Velzer with WFPL. For utilities, based on the average numbers you provided, customers are going to need twice as much relief as the city is offering. Have utilities considered making their own donations to help support the fund?
This is Eileen.
Go ahead, Eileen.
I'll go ahead and get started. It's a great question. I can share with you for LG&E throughout the pandemic, we have donated to the One Louisville Fund. We have donated across the state through the Coronavirus Response Fund that's out of Lexington. And we've continued giving to the community to the tune of roughly $7 million throughout the pandemic. We did not back down on that. So, that's information that we shared with this group when the financing was considered, the amount that we have already donated.
And on the Louisville Water and Louisville MSD side, and you're right, there's a lot more need than what we have here. So we estimate that the $4 million coming from the Metro COVID Relief Fund, accompanied with donations from Louisville Water and MSD to the Louisville Water Foundation, we have roughly around $6 million right now to help customers. The balance that is owed from those customers from last year, just in Jefferson County, is roughly $11 million. Louisville Water and Louisville MSD both contribute to Drops of Kindness, our affordability program that's administered through the Louisville Water Foundation. So we already have an existing partnership with the ministries here in Louisville, where they were already helping thousands of customers. And so we'll continue. I would echo what Councilman Hollander said earlier, and that is philanthropic donations. Neighbor helping neighbor to provide assistance during this will be important for sustainability.
Thank you. And our last question in the chat is from Ryan Van Velzer with WFPL. This one is for Mayor Fischer. He asks, what are your thoughts on LG&E's proposed rate increase given the pandemic?
Well, I don't like it. I mean, I understand, well, LG&E's got to reinvest into their system to keep rates low, but the timing is bad. Louisville's protesting the rate increase with the PSC. We've been joined by Lexington in that initiative, and there'll be others as well. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get into some type of negotiation to lessen the amount of the increase. But there's a lot of people struggling right now, especially people at the low income levels. So that needs to be taken into consideration at a time like this.
Okay, and that is the last question in the chat.
Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us today. Again, great teamwork for pulling this together. We're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination with this pandemic, and with that obviously comes a lot of financial hardship. So we're looking forward to more money coming from the federal government and the CARES Act that was passed probably 3 weeks ago now. Some of that will be focusing on eviction prevention. So just making sure, as Councilman Hollander said, people are housed, their utilities stay on, there's adequate food. Boy, we wouldn't even imagine having this conversation a year ago, but it's part of our day-to-day reality right now. And then I just encouraged all residents also to get in contact with Congress so that they know that there's strong support to pass the American Rescue Plan that President Biden put forth the week before last. So let's all do our part to get through this pandemic so we can get things back to where we can move around in a healthy manner, get our economy going again, and make sure there's opportunities for everybody in our city. Thanks for joining us today.